Well, that's fun. I don't understand what just happened. Played the intro, and apparently if you were on the vertical layout, you saw it, but apparently no one else did. What just happened? We literally just did. I just finished doing a show 10 seconds ago. And now stuff's not going to work. That what a great way to start the show. Let's see if there we go. Hello, everyone. Bash on the buttons, our special holiday season edition. We are going back to WWF Warzone, where we're going to see if we can finish our journey to the WWF title. We are finally off WCW versus the World, and what a just giant train wreck that game is. I am your host, TJ Stevens, and of course, we're going back here. I will not be back. Today was my last day at work. I will not be back until January 5th. I'm going to be out of town. So this will be it for 2025. We'll come back January of 26, first week, with WrestleMania X8 for GameCube, which I'm stoked for. I cannot wait. But in the meantime, we're going back to an oldie but a goodie. We're going back to WWF Warzone. And, of course, follow us on Mark Out Moments on YouTube, where you get Bash on the Buttons, you get Drunken Pop, which we literally recorded or did a live show just before this one. Talking Wrestling with Pondwater and Amy. We got Wrestling Galore, World-Class Flashback. We've got Mid-South, Memphis. We're going to be doing Portland, I believe, next year. We got Footballers, which is sports gambling talk. It tickles everyone's fancy, you know. If we get a popular enough demand, maybe I can convince the fund director to bring back our true crime show that me and him did, because I enjoyed that a great deal. With all that being said, let's get into Warzone, shall we? So if you remember correctly from the last time we left off, we are Mankind, and if we win this match against Kane, we move up to the second row. So essentially we have 3 matches to go, or 4 matches to go to win the title. But again, remember, what makes this game so dumb is as you progress through the 12 matches, I think it is, to win the WWF Championship, the people you have previously beaten can challenge you for no apparent reason to a grudge match in a hardcore or weapons match or a cage match, which is incredibly difficult to maneuver. No problem there. But we got Mankind versus Kane, and I will say doing that movement with no pyro is stupid. So yes, again, we're going to do our next video game on the docket starting in 26, WrestleMania X8 for Nintendo GameCube, 3 weeks of that. And again, if you're new, we got some new viewers in today, I can tell. If you're new, we do not do this is not an emulator. I'm using a capture card, and this is my actual PlayStation 1. Let's see if we can get the title tonight. But we're doing WrestleMania X8. After that, it will be what was next? I know we're ending this 4 block. Never mind. At WrestleMania, because we did Warzone first, and then we did WCW versus the World. It was so bad, even though we just wrapped it up this week, I already forgot about it. Just terrible. And then our last game of this 4 block will be Pro Wrestling for NES. That's the last one. So when I put up the new poll, so week 2 of Pro Wrestling for NES, your poll options will be In Your House for Sega Saturn, which I kind of hope that wins, even though I'll get to play it regardless. I've never actually played that game, or a Sega Saturn for that matter. So In Your House for Sega Saturn. And then oh wait, Super WrestleMania for SNES is somewhere. Did he just choke slam me out of nowhere? What? I lost my train of thought. Let me focus. Next poll will be Tag Team Wrestling for NES. It will be In Your House for Sega Saturn. WCW NWO Revenge for N64. Probably the dark horse right now to win that. It's not even a dark horse. I mean, it's probably pretty apparent. And then Royal Rumble for Sega Dreamcast. Those will be the 4 options here in the next poll. Of course, we're doing our next game will be WrestleMania X8. And then we have Super WrestleMania for NES. And then oh wait, no, I'm all over the place. Pro Wrestling for NES was not in this poll. The first one. It will be in the next one. So it's Super WrestleMania for SNES. Finishing it up with what did I just say? WrestleMania X8. Finishing up with Super WrestleMania for SNES, and then the next poll will be. I'm sorry, this is confusing. I'm everywhere. Christmas on my mind. The next poll will be Pro Wrestling for NES, Royal Rumble for Dreamcast, In Your House for Sega Saturn, and WCW NWO Revenge. There we go. Let's go back to whipping that cane ass. And I think one of the things I'd like to talk about with the viewers here tonight is some we talked about it today on Drunken Pop. And I think it's a fun topic of conversation, but childhood Christmas memories, since it is the season. 'Tis the season, as they say. He just chokeslammed me again. This man is rude. Just out of nowhere, I'm in the green. He's like, hey, what if I did my signature move right now? Powerbomb. So this control scheme, as a reminder, was kind of burdensome. You have to go and look up the moves before you do them. So let's do elbow drop onto the leg, right, square. Boom. Boosh. This game, all things considered, again, when I started this series off with, or this show off with this game for 3 weeks, I did not have high expectations because of how I don't have good memories of this game. I just don't. Of when I was, because this game got released when I was 12 or 13, whatever it was. And because of the control scheme, it's better than I remembered. It's still not great, but it's better than I remembered. I need my strategy guide so I know how to do the mandible claw when it's time. But it's better than what I remember, the control scheme. The graphics, again, in today's standards, it's hilarious, the graphics. But in 1997, like, this was almost riot worthy. This is so good. And then but yeah, and this game has not, I've been kind of impressed with it. Kind of surprised. Yeah, maybe impressed isn't the right word. I've been pretty surprised. It has not been as bad as I remembered, except for the part where if you beat someone, they can just challenge you. Did he just do a Northern Light suplex? They can just challenge you for no reason after you beat them in a weapons match, which is just a huge hassle, or a cage match, which unfortunately I didn't understand, like, how you win or the logistics of it until I learned it by accident, really, on the show. But it's been surprisingly good. WCW versus the World. I've heard, I have Tag Team Wrestling for NES. I've heard that Tag Team Wrestling for the NES is arguably one of the worst, not just wrestling games, but video games ever made. And I said, that's ballsy, because we live in a world where WCW Mayhem and Backstage Assault exists. But apparently this is still up there. So I'm excited to do that. But I mean, WCW versus the World, I don't know if it makes my top 5, but if it didn't make my top 5, it'd be number 6 for worst games ever. Wrestling games. It was just awful. It's terrible. Again, if you remember, we started the last show, which was Tuesday, for that game. We started a league. Wow, I got yellow in a hurry. We started a league with Dean Malenko. And by the way, also with that game, with this game, we never had an issue with me having to like reset the game because the graphics were messed up or freezing or anything else. We had to reset WCW Nitro versus the World, I think, in the last 2 shows. I think we had to reset it like 9 times because it was just freezing up. But we did a league with Dean Malenko, and we beat, Flair, we beat Jarrett, maybe Rick Steiner, I don't really recall. And then suddenly they're like, hey, you are the champion of WCW. What? Like, there was no warning. It just kind of happened. All right, so we got him upright. He is groggy. So what should we do here? Let's do front backbreaker, right left circle. Or just don't. That's cool too. There we go. And also, if you remember, my go-tos here on this game: neck breaker, belly to belly, gut wrench powerbomb, reversal by Mankind. There's the gut wrench. And I will give it, I will give this game this. So at least here, I know the control schemes, although have, very kind of burdensome to bring around, I can, through repetition, remember moves to do, so I can pull them out and perform them. WCW versus the World, I at no point knew what I was doing in that game, ever. Like, the controls are just very cumbersome. Crossface chicken wing or reverse DDT. I think we're going to do reverse DDT. Right triangle. Boom. The old slop drop, as it were. This is Scorpion dress drop, nerd. Oh, all right. Now I need to pause and go get the strategy guide. Yes, that's right. The official WWF Warzone strategy guide, so I can remember how to do the mandible claw. I need to move my beverages of choice, my Kurs, over here, so I have some desk. I turned it right to Mankind, and it's not even marked with this guy. And remember, if we win the WWF title with Mankind, when you win the Intercontinental title, you unlock Dude Love. When you win the heavyweight title, you unlock Cactus Jack, which is the whole reason why I picked him to begin with. And Mick Foley, kind of my guy. He's been my favorite since 1996, I'd say, probably. So mandible claw is left, right, up, circle, X. Circle and X. Here's another fun fact. It's not a chain where you press circle and then X. You have to press them together, which is weird. So let's go ahead and see if we can put Kane away and move one step closer to the WWF Championship. And if you remember when we played this game the first time, I had a real hard time with Headbanger Mosh. He beat me twice and, didn't reset me, but it was close. But then we found out in pretty short order that if I lost any matches again, we'd have to start over. So I've had to go undefeated since that time. Let's see. It's standing at head, left, right, up, circle X. Left, right, up, circle X. Body slam. There it is, mandible claw locked in. Is Kane done for? Are we going to move on to the final 3 matches? Kane is done, folks. Your winner, What? Oh, my gracious. What kind of just nonsense are we doing right now? Trying to put Kenny away. Neck breaker. Left, right, up, circle, X. Pick. We're just not going to do it. Mandible claw. It's kind of weird that we're not pinning him. This is not a pinning predicament. And the only way to get him to tap is to get carpal tunnel. Mankind is your winner. Oh, we just won the Intercontinental title, which means we should be unlocking Dude Love. See if that stupid lady in the limo says anything to us. I'm going to say no. Sup, champ? Look at this. I actually have several Raw magazines from about this time frame. IC belt champion. I don't know what that said, but I know it didn't make sense. See what this lady has to say. Where are your pants? Hoover. You can't walk around just full clam out. That's crazy. So now we got Ken Shamrock, Bret Hart to go, and your WWF champion is The Undertaker. And again, we should have. Oh, Bret Hart dominates The Undertaker. He may be the new WWF champion. Well, he's not. Maybe he is. So we should now have Dude Love. So let's exit the challenge. See if we have Dude Love now. That would be fun. Unfortunately, I can't play as Dude Love in this tournament we're doing because I'd have to start over. Oh, wait, I can just go to I don't have to do. I can go to the biographies. Biographies. A&E biographies. See if we have the Dudester. Farouk. Mankind. Frozen. What happened here? Did it freeze? I'm gonna be upset because we didn't save yet. I might have to flip out here in a minute. Always save. It's a PlayStation. Always save. Damn it. We'll give it a couple more seconds. I'm gonna be pissed if we just beat Kane, won the Intercontinental title, really in dominating fashion, just to have it freeze, seeing if we had Dude Love. Well, remember how I said earlier we never had a problem with Warzone, but I had to reset WCW versus the World like 9 times. Here you go. Ugh. TJ, you should use an emulator. Shut up. This actually gives me an excuse to use my old consoles. When we play WrestleMania X8, it'll be my actual GameCube. When we play pro wrestling, it'll actually be my original Nintendo. Emulators, to me, like I would rather have. I'm a physical media person. Like even to this day, if I can buy an actual physical copy of Xbox or PlayStation game, I'm gonna do that before I download it and just pay for the download. I want the physical copy. I'm a physical media guy. So like to have all these consoles and just not play them ever would annoy me. So now we have to beat Kane again. Whip that silly ass one more time. and then save. Save. That was the key. And then see if we have Dude Love. I guarantee you this game does not have autosave, which really is a feature we don't appreciate enough in this world. Well, actually, I wonder if we unlocked Dude Love, if I would have to start over again. I don't know if I would have to or not. I don't know. And again, we go back to I've never met anyone that had this game for N64. Like, to me, they shouldn't, like, how? Why did they even bother making this for Nintendo 64? They did so well. And this is the thing, too, is this game came out in 1997. So this is, I mean, dead smack in the middle of the Nintendo 64 PlayStation race. And, you know, I don't know if I would agree that the late 90s was the greatest time in pro wrestling. I would say it was the hottest. I don't know if it was the best. Like, there was some pretty awesome shit happening in the 80s. Like, if you're into entertainment, if you're into wrestling, like, you had all of that in the 80s. The 90s, not so much. Even here in the Attitude Era, like, you can't show me like any pay-per-view or TV taping, or whatever the case in this time frame, and show me a list of matches and be like, oh, that match was technically awesome, because it just wasn't a thing. No one was doing that. Chokeslam out of nowhere. Like, there was no Flair Steamboat matches from 1995 through 2000, you know, until it became Kurt Angle's thing that, you know, he was this technical wizard. Now, I will tell you, an underrated match in that time frame, and maybe it's I'm a homer, but WWF Mind Games in Philly, Mankind versus Shawn Michaels for the WWF title, is incredible. It's one of my favorite matches ever. And to me, it's what legitimized Shawn as the champion, is he beat this deranged psychopath, Mankind, and it was still this version of Mankind. WCW, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Halloween Havoc 98, I think, has to go right up there in top 5 WCW matches ever. For sure. Actually, you know, I told you guys on Tuesday, I've gone back and I started watching WCW Nitro from the beginning. So September 4th, 95. I just made it past World War III, which was won by Macho Man Randy Savage, thus crowning him the champion. And I will tell you that you're just starting to see Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit. But I think it was at, what show was that? Was it Fall Brawl? It might have been Fall Chokeslam. You had Flair versus Arn. And that match, I mean, it's not anything amazing with, like, skill wise, as far as like speed, agility, movement, high flying, none of that stuff. But just from a storytelling match, my Lord, those two had the crowd in the palm of their hand from the word go. So if you get time, War Games, Fall Brawl 1995, Flair Anderson does not get its love. That was a great match. And Arn beat Flair. And it's an interesting discussion because Arn is known for being like the tag team guy, the television champion, kind of these mid-card belts, but never, like, he would be in main event storylines, but he himself was never like the focal point. He was always Flair's handyman, or he was the enforcer for the Dangerous Alliance, whatever the case is. I would make an argument that there was a time and a place where you could have elevated Arn, and it might have been here in 95 in the fall. You could have elevated Arn and people would have bought it. And maybe not won the WCW title, but been right there fighting for it. And it just never really happened. And it's interesting to think, like, did the idea never get brought up, or did Arn just never push for it? It's interesting. Our friend Efren's here. Hello. Good evening, Efren. Yes, we're doing Bash on a Thursday, our final year-end edition. Next year, I can't wait to do this show, because then we can do, like, best games we played this year. And right now, we've only played 2. And this game was miles better than WCW versus the World. So there would be a very short discussion. Right now, I obliterated Kane in the first match. PlayStation froze. And now Kane is opening a can of whoop ass on me. So I need to get my shit together. We do know now, because I beat Kane already, that when we win this match, we will win the Intercontinental title. DDT. Mankind on the warpath. Samoan drop. Here we come. Actually, Mankind here in 95 and 96, 97 really had some great psychology matches that I don't. Again, Shawn Michaels is the one I always kind of go to. But he had some really good psychological matches, and I don't think they get their fair shake. Like, it's unfortunate that Mick gets known for Hell in a Cell 98, because he did so many other great things that, and all King of the Ring did was in 98 was just show how just absurdly tough this man is. It didn't really showcase Mick's abilities, you know. Again, I think Royal Rumble 2000, Cactus Jack against Triple H for the WWF title is, I mean, that match is top 3 favorite matches of all time for me. And I actually think The Rock interfering in it, like, ruined the finish. Now, granted, it wasn't really the finish. They still went some time. But, like, to me, that was just completely unnecessary that the Rock interfered. All right, so we are equal up now. I need to maintain the aggression, the intensity, and put Kane down here. Get that Intercontinental Championship. Also, Mick had a really good feud with Hunter when Hunter won the King of the Ring before, you know, he became like the ragged dress shirt and tie and sweatpants Mankind that would end up winning the world title. He had a good feud with Triple H. I think it's underrated early on. I think they had a cage match for the Intercontinental title that was pretty good. It was at a SummerSlam, I want to say. Could be wrong. No, we're just spitballing here. Cobra Clutch, down circle. Or don't. What are you doing? Wow. And then I just hugged him. Went for the hug. Didn't see it coming. Suplexed myself. And that's the thing about Kane. Like, I understand he is one of the great characters in WWF history. Top 10, no doubt. But as far as like a classic, like a Kane match, I don't mean this to be dismissive either. I can't think of one. You know? Obviously, his feud with The Undertaker was excellent. But, like, their first WrestleMania match was kind of ugly. But I can't think of a match of Kane's where I can be like, that match was great. You know? Now, again, they were all good to very good. I don't know if they were great. If we had any great ones. And again, I'm not saying it to be dismissive. And also, I have noticed now that with everyone just hating this John Cena's last match finish, that everyone's back to Triple H was overrated. He was only pushed because he was the boss's daughter, all that fun stuff, which is fun because when he first took over booking the company, that had all gone away. He was the savior of the earth. And now we're back to, meh, he didn't deserve it. Okay, good. Good. This is fun. Let's see. Oh boy. Left, right, up, circle X, body slam. Mandible claw. What a setup. Body slam into the mandible claw. I'm not feeling good, though, that it's going to be enough to get him. I don't think it is. It is not. He's going to get out of it. We got him on the ropes. Kick to the dick. Uh-oh. Oh, reversal. Oh, my goodness. This man, Mick Foley, leaving it all on the table tonight. Dropped hold. Neck breaker. Let's see if it's enough to get the win. Oh, I believe this is going to be it, folks. Mankind wins the IC title again. Let's see if there's anything special about this. Also, I love the ring girl that WWF stopped using in like 1994. So now we need to save. And then see, IC belt champion captures title, exclusive photos inside. You could have said titties. I'm not sure. They look like too many letters to just say photos. Again, there's no, like, getting out of a car with that short of a skirt and no sort of like shorts or pants is in that neighborhood is a choice. So we have already beaten Mosh, Ahmed Johnson, The Rock, Thrasher, Goldust, Farouk, Steve Austin, and now Kane. And we've got Ken Shamrock, Bret Hart, and The Undertaker to go. But again, we're probably going to have to fight Austin again. Probably going to have to fight Kane again while we're doing this. Wouldn't be surprised if I had to fight Shamrock again before I get to Bret. That is my biggest gripe about this game, and it's not even. Oh, I accidentally moved forward. Hopefully, I don't lose. That's easily my biggest gripe about this game. Is the grudge matches? Why? I already have to win 15 matches to win the WWF title, and now I also have to wrestle Goldust in a weapons match. Why? I beat him. Like, what? There's no grudge here. You're 0-1. I think if this game actually had more of a comprehensive storyline mode, an effective one, this game probably doesn't have the negative rap that it does now. You know? Ken Shamrock. He is the perfect what if story, I think, in WWF history. This dude I was a giant Shamrock fan. Even when he joined the corporation, I didn't care. This guy had everything, except he couldn't talk on the mic worth of shit, which is fine. There's been plenty of people like that. But had everything you could want, and for some reason, he just couldn't break the ceiling. It is so interesting to me. Now, we have heard from JR in subsequent years in interviews he's done that maybe Shamrock was not so reliable. And actually, years ago, we used to have a show called Legends Let's Rethink This, where we interviewed Ken Shamrock And he even admitted himself that maybe he wasn't the most reliable person back in the day. He was getting burnt out towards the end of his run in the WWF. He wanted to go back to UFC fighting. So there's all those things, right? But man, I mean, this dude, had he been packaged correctly, and I shouldn't even say that because his character was great. It was just him, this intense, just ridiculous cage fighter. But had he, like, in the right circumstances, maybe with a manager, Shamrock would have dominated for years. Like, he was Kurt Angle before Kurt Angle. But we didn't get that. Kind of disappointing. And what's even more interesting is he leaves the WWF in like 2000 and just never comes back, which is more bizarre. Everyone comes back. I can't do anything. He's whipping the shit out of me, by the way. I can't hit my Samoan drop. I can't hit my belly to belly, my neck breaker, nothing. Nothing's working. And every time he hits me, I just go get knocked out. Uppercut. Now we connected with something. Let's see if we can get on a roll here now. Oh, come on. Like, to me, in the 90s, and a lot of people might disagree with this, but when you think like the best Intercontinental champions of the 90s, I think Shamrock's got to be in the discussion. Like, again, with what we know, and this very well could be like a fan appointed ideology of what the IC title is, the workers belt. I think we made that up. I don't think it's actually what they wanted. But what we kind of assigned to that title, what makes a good Intercontinental champion, the Kurt Hennigs and the Bret Harts and the, I'll throw Goldust in there. Triple H, The Rock, Steve Austin. Shamrock has all those things. I thought he was a decent Intercontinental champion. Razor, Diesel. I don't really throw Diesel in there. Diesel, like, if you go back and watch the old Raws and just see Diesel with the Intercontinental Championship, it's just weird. Like, why does he have that? Now, if you remember, it was because they were the chaps that had the straps, Shawn and Diesel. Shawn was the WWF champion. Diesel was the Intercontinental. And Shamrock still just whipping that ass. There's nothing I can do but kick to the ding-a-ling. And what's more frustrating is I'm actually trying to do moves here, and Mankind's just throwing haymakers, which leaves me susceptible to some offense by Ken here. He's just blocking my shit now. Nice. We got a reversal. We needed that. That was big. Knee to back. Need to wear him down a little bit. We're getting there. We're coming back. We're coming back. If you're just joining us, Ken Shamrock really started this match on fire. Not much I could do about it. We are on the comeback trail now. We have just won. This is our first defense of the Intercontinental title here on WWF Warzone 1997 for the PlayStation 1. And Shamrock's given everything we could want and then some. 2 elbows to the knee. And we are back in the game, folks. Man, what a comeback by Mick Foley, by Mankind, as he just single-arm DDTs me. And we are not far away from being in trouble. Not far away at all. And I didn't save. So we might have to beat Kane again, which would... Oh, boy, he reversed it. Which would be annoying, to say the least. Because Kane, we can murder Kane. We cannot beat Ken Shamrock. He is just too much. Like, he blocks my moves, and he can just do whatever he wants. And if he looks at me hard enough, I stun. Like, I'm a fainting goat in this match. Like, my fingers are getting tired. That's a feeling I don't miss from old video games. Exhausted fingers. That's what she said. All right. Our go-tos are coming back. All right, we're hitting them. We're coming. Here we come. Old Mick is on the trail here. I cannot tell you guys how much I genuinely love playing these old video games. Like, they're so just unnecessarily difficult, but at the time we didn't know any better. This is all we had. And I genuinely have fun playing these. This is fun for me. All right. We got to be real careful. I didn't want to do that. How we progress here. Oh, boy. Because I am one wrong move. Oh, shit. We are one wrong move away from losing to old Kenneth Shamrock. Was I getting ready to do the Dusty elbow drop? Definitely wasn't intentional. I can tell you that. All right. All right. Swinging DDT. That is absolutely what we're doing. We got him in the orange. We're close. Oh, boy. Hurricane Rana. Quit throwing haymakers. I never want to throw a haymaker. There we go. That's what I wanted. We got it. Just stick and juke, man. See if I can hit the mandible claw. I cannot. We need a high impact move here. Cobra clutch, I can wear him down. Or just do nothing. That's fine too. I enjoy that. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's a lot of red. Now I got to beat Kane again. Super. I don't know what happened just now, but he destroyed me. That was Mosh level me getting the shit beat out of me. Be nice. You know, why can't I call a oh. I won the Intercontinental title the match before this, and she just called me a loser. And here's what's fun about this game. Now, if we were to continue, I have to start from the beginning, and we're not doing that. So we're going to leave, reload, and beat Kane again. But again, like when you compare, because this came out in 97, WCW versus the World came out, I think, also in 97. Yeah, March of 97. And then they released WCW NWO World Tour, which came out in December. And if you compare this game to WCW versus the World, because again, to me, WCW World Tour changed the game. There's no comparison. But if you can compare WCW versus the World to this, again, graphics not ideal, control scheme a little hard to learn, but now we're getting it now. But real entrance music, well, quote unquote real entrances, they weren't, but they were just them walking on the ramp. But they tried. And there's a cohesive storyline for the most part to winning the WWF championships. With the exception of maybe, I don't know if there's a way to win the tag team belts on here. I don't remember. WCW versus the World, there's not. There's none of those things. It's generic music. There's no entrances. The ring, they went to the trouble of making the ring with a WCW logo on it, but it's not like an actual ring they use, like design. And it's the controls are just bizarre and they're hard to grasp. So again, in the two games of 1997 between the two companies for PlayStation, I'm going to have to give the nod to Warzone by a pretty substantial margin. Like if someone came up to me, they're like, hey, should I play WCW versus the World? And I would tell them, I think you should throw your PlayStation in the microwave before you play that. And I wonder, I've always wanted to ask, Eric Bischoff, if I ever got the opportunity to talk to him, that'd be great. But I always wanted the chance to talk to him, or if he doesn't know, whoever was in charge of WCW's merchandising in this time, and specifically their video game division. What led to the change in video games from WCW versus the World to World Tour and Revenge? Now, I understand why they left THQ. Well, they didn't leave. THQ left them. But the move from THQ to EA Sports, right? I totally got that. It was EA Sports, established brand. We're going to get a lot of money out of this deal. I get it. No issues with that. But the move from THQ to EA Sports, from a gameplay perspective, was falling off a cliff. I mean, again, I have Mayhem and Backstage Assault. We're going to play both of them. I don't want to play either one, just for the record, but we're going to play both of them. But like, what led to the change from, oh my Lord, WCW versus the World to World Tour is a massive difference. The graphics, as we discussed before on Tuesday's show, the graphics mapping was there. The polygonal structure of the characters, that was there. The wrestlers was there. You could see World Tour kind of evolving out of that. The control schemes were greatly changed. And I would love to know what led to that change. Do I beat him in a draw? Do I get to move on? Because that would be excellent. I would take that in a New York Minute. It's not my fault. He would not let go of his leg vine or Boston crab or whatever he was doing. I don't remember. And again, the drastic change, I'm guessing no, because she just called me a loser again. The drastic change from Warzone and then Attitude, which was the next year after this, to partnering with THQ and then getting WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy. Like, what led to that change? Because again, it's a drastic change. You went from two games in Warzone and Attitude that were cross-platform, so you could play. I didn't know that you could play as either PlayStation or Xbox, whereas WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy and even Revenge and World Tour were just Nintendo 64 exclusives. So you're losing market share because you're not on as many platforms, right? You're only on one as opposed to two. So that's the stuff that fascinates me. And if I ever get the opportunity to play one of these games and talk to like an Eric Bischoff or, who would be the WWF equivalent that would be, around these video games like that, and ask them these questions while I'm sitting here playing the game, to me, that's like, I would be happy they could only see you can only see the upper half of me. We'll put it that way. That's how happy I'd be. But from coming on here tonight, right out of the gate, and just whooping the shit out of Kane, to now this, has been a wake up call. It's been something. We might have to hold off winning the WWF title until January. I had high hopes when this show started. Leaving tomorrow. We're leaving tomorrow, and we're driving to Charleston, West Virginia, which is where we're stopping. It's like a 6.5 hour drive, somewhere in there, depending on traffic. My daughter demanded a hotel with a pool. So there we got a hotel with a pool. But I'm getting Marriott points, so right on. Which, by the way, a little life hack. Like, if you want to travel a lot, but you don't necessarily have the money to do it a lot, or like hotel stays or whatever the case, do yourself a favor. Become a Marriott Bonvoy member, and then also become a Hilton points member. And that way, every time and always stay at those two chains, Marriott Bonvoy and Hilton. And Hilton, I know, like, the name, it's not as expensive as it sounds. Actually, it's pretty comparable to the other hotel chains nowadays, as long as it's not a Red Roof Inn, which I wouldn't say that because you get scabies. But it's pretty comparable. And you acquire points. So just acquire the points. Eventually, you'll get a free night or two in one of their hotels. And, that's opens your life up to be able to travel a little bit more. You know what I mean? All right, Kane. I'm coming to this match. I'm angry. And now I'm another beer in, which probably spells good news for you. And again, another a drastic change too is, I think, when we did well, never mind. That was the pilot I shot for this show. Super WrestleMania in 1992 for Super Nintendo. It's an okay game, but it's acclaimed. So, like, that game, WrestleMania Arcade, in your house, to an extent, it's the same game engine. So WWF Raw, they all look the same. They all play the same. But from 1992 to 1996, or excuse me, 95, they released like 13 games or something bananas. WWF, just a ton. All on different platforms, mind you. Well, let me rephrase that. They didn't repeat platforms per year. So it's like, say, Super WrestleMania for 1992. That was the only game they released on Super Nintendo that year. But again, in 93, they released Raw. It's the same game. It's just different face paint. And then in 95, they release WWF In Your House, which is essentially those games just arcaded up through the roof. Mortal Kombat. Let's call it WWF's Mortal Kombat. And then here, and they didn't release any games in 96. And then here in 97, they do Attitude, or a Warzone, next year's Attitude. And then we get WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy. But again, it's a drastic change from those arcadey type games to this. And it's still acclaimed. Fun fact, Warzone and Attitude would be the final two games of the WWF Acclaim relationship, which I think started in 1990. See, this is a little deep dive into what makes my brain tick when we do stuff like that, is like how things are developed, the business dealings. Like, what was the input from each company to these game producers, whether it be Acclaim or whether it be THQ, AKI? What is the input from the company, the WWFs or WCWs or ECWs later on, to these video game companies of like what we want our game to look like? Who's on it? Move sets, like all that stuff fascinates me. How are we gonna? What is this game gonna feel like? What's our storyline mode gonna look like? All that stuff fascinates me. All right, Kane, I'm gonna need you to settle down. You can't just walk around choke slamming people. I can't just slap you in the mandible claw. The dick. I can't just slap you in the mandible claw whenever I feel like it. Okay, just go ahead and relax. Because I would love the opportunity one day to, especially about the THQ WCW games, to sit and talk with Eric Bischoff about everything that went into those games, because that is the stuff that fascinates me. Single arm DDT, upper haymaker I didn't want to throw. Another one I didn't want to throw. DDT stunned me from a full bar of health. Well, 75% health. Fun. Rope breaks, F them. We don't care. Boy, I'm feeling very much like I felt the last day we played WCW versus the World here. Kane is just the Shamrock, man, I couldn't do shit. Like, Shamrock just murdered me. And we're not too far away here. Like, we're in the orange, Mankind, or Kane's in the yeller. Oh, he just darkened it up a little bit. Nice. I don't remember how to get out of the ring, so you just go ahead and come back in. And again, here in 90, and now granted, again, we talked about this in episode 1 of this, which go back to markoutmoments.net. Go through our YouTube, you'll find all the series here on the Warzone shows. The production of this game started in 1996, which is why here in the summer of 97, game comes out, Bret Hart's in WCW, Davey Boy Smith's in WCW, Ahmed Johnson is not even with the company anymore, Shawn Michaels is retired, but yet they're all in the game because the production for it started the year before. But it's like, and that's why you sit here and you play it and you're like, well, why are the headbangers on it? And this is nothing against the headbangers, but why are the headbangers on it, but the New Age Outlaws aren't? Well, it's because the New Age Outlaws, when this game started to be produced, wasn't a thing yet. Headbutt to groin. All right, we are back to square, and then I hate doing moves with triangle because he just throws haymakers, and I don't want him to. Because it takes so much time to throw it. That's what I want to do. Neck breaker. Up in the heezy. Gut wrench powerbomb. Now we're back on track. Boom. Single arm DDT. Let's do a grapple. Let's do a belly to belly. Bam. Here we come. Mankind on fire. I think it's right triangle. Reverse DDT. Boom. Those of you that have been here since the beginning, I don't know if I've talked about it here before on the show or not, but I'm real into baseball cards, buying and selling and things and appraising. And I work with a guy named Colin, great guy. And he'll just send me text messages once in a while with like Facebook ads of like people just sending crates of baseball cards. Why are you taunting? Oh boy. Oh boy. We are in trouble. I need, oh, we are in the heat of the moment, as Asia would say. Mandible claw. This is the only part I don't like, is just the, pardon the phrase, bash of the buttons to get someone to submit and just developing shredded forearms. Come on. Come on. No. Reversal. Let's do a reversal. Headbutt. Oh, boy. I kind of wish I would have gone out of the ring just now. No rope break. Son of a bitch. Again, the first match I won, I beat Kane in like 4 minutes. He didn't do shit. And then I lost to Shamrock. We didn't save. And it's just been a downward spiral since. Come and unravel. Does anyone have some whiskey? You shut your face, lady. How obnoxious. We're going to have to come back in January and win the title. This is not how this was supposed to go. This was supposed to be a fun, chill evening. We were going to whip Kane's ass, show Shamrock what it's all about, beat Bret Hart, beat The Undertaker, win the title. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We'll see you in January. And then Shamrock said, hey, how about I kick you in the dick and then you can shove your Christmas presents up your ass? And was just really kind of rude about it. And I hate doing that. We're going to turn it on easy because I'm over it. The whole reason we played this game with Mankind was to see us unlock Cactus Jack and Dude Love as we progressed. And we can't progress. Again, we know that after this match, we will win the Intercontinental title because we've already beat Kane twice. Once, Shamrock beat the shit out of us immediately after that, and I forgot to save. The next time, we tried to go look at Dude Love, which we just unlocked, and it froze. Yay. Technology. Why am I Kane? What is happening? My life is falling apart. So we're going to go and we're going to beat Kane's ass one more time. And then we're going to save. And then we're going to bid adieu and go our separate ways to our holiday destinations. Christmas Eve, New Year's. And then I will see you guys in January with WrestleMania X8. What's the exact day? Well, let me look. It'll be Friday, January 9th. What will be when we start WrestleMania X8 for the GameCube. And again, I've never played it. I'm excited. Again, for some weird reason, I want to say I had Day of Reckoning, but I did not have WrestleMania X8. I could be wrong, but I don't think I had it. And the only two games I vividly remember playing on GameCube was the Spider-Man game, which was the shit. Like, that game on GameCube just shattered people's brains. Or as Jack Black would say in Tenacious D, it turns your brain into shit. And then NASCAR, which in my opinion, NASCAR Heat, I think it was 05. No, say 02. Is still the best NASCAR game ever made. And it bums me out that they can't figure it out now. Like, I love the iRacing. I actually think iRacing I could get into, and be able to compete a little bit in, as opposed to like Call of Duty. Because I don't have time to sit around all day and memorize maps and weapons and fix my frame rate on my TV so I can just dominate people on Call of Duty. I have kids. I'm 40. And I just have better things to do with my life. Call of Duty, players that are real good, mad respect. Back in my day in Modern Warfare 2, I would have whipped your ass. But nowadays I don't have the time. But like iRacing, like driving, now granted you can't pause, which sucks. But I feel like I could do that. But what made NASCAR Heat in those days, we're me and you, we're talking. We're gonna have a little. I gotta take a break from it. My forearms are killing me. So, what made the old NASCAR games great in the early 2000s? There was one game, I can't remember what it was, but it actually let you import cars. So they would have a template of what the paint scheme of like the car would look like. So, but it wasn't. It was just plain. So it had the roof layout and the hood and the trunk lid and then the fenders. And you could import your own custom paint jobs. So, like, I was always the number 97 John Deere Ford Taurus, which wasn't actually on the game, but I made it through this car paint scheme wizard thing which was driven by Chad Little. By the time this game came out, Chad Little wasn't in NASCAR anymore. But I always thought that John Deere car was sweet. But what also made it great, or made it enjoyable, was say you get called up from Xfinity to NASCAR, which I don't think was a thing yet. I think you just started NASCAR. So pardon me on that. But you didn't just start off like, hey, you're going to drive the number 24, even though Jeff Gordon is still a thing. You would start off driving for whatever the 2002 equivalent was of driving for, like, you know, Ragged Randy's NASCAR team, the number 411, because they can't afford a car. And he would just, as you perform to certain metrics, you just slowly increase your position. And then say you wanted to create your own team, they had actual sponsors that you could build your way up to, actual prestigious, recognizable sponsors and recognizable paint schemes, and, make your car look like it was a real car, even though it may not have been. They don't do that anymore. Like, if you create your own car, and this is for a decade on a NASCAR game, you can tell it's not real. It looks like shit. This last NASCAR game, not bad. It's probably the best I've seen as far as making a NASCAR created car look good, like an actual car. But you're missing that storyline perspective, and it's not hard to fix. Like, I don't mind working my way up through ARCA, and then the trucks, and then Xfinity Series, and then NASCAR, and then getting into NASCAR and having to start on a bad team and work my way up by, accomplishing goals. I don't hate that. I don't care if it takes me 4 seasons in NASCAR to drive for, get the chance to drive for a front row or whatever. Like, make me work for it. That's fine. But make it believable. That's the only thing I ask. Just make it believable. All right. We need to focus. Enough NASCAR talk. Need to focus on beating Kane. Actually, I'm hoping to get a steering wheel and a foot pedal for my Xbox so I can come on here and play iRacing games on Bash on the Buttons on just random nights. That's what I would love to do. That sounds fun to me. Also, that way we're not playing just wrestling games. And listen, I love playing wrestling games. Don't get me wrong. But I love other games too. And I think it would just be a nice change, I will say I can remember this game coming out, again, 97, so I'm 12. And I do remember spending a lot of hours playing this game, which is more bizarre that I played this game so much and never actually played it all the way through and won the WWF Championship. Never. Until now. I would love to know the reasoning for that. Like, what games were out in that time frame that just completely distracted my attention to playing them and not this? Because listen, at the time in 97, when this came out, I was stoked to death. I was through the roof excited. So something else had to have come out that just took my attention and just kept me from actually playing this all the way through. And I don't know what it was. Could be another game. It could have been, well, Monday nights I'm watching Nitro Raw. So that's what that is. But it could have been another game. It could have been, definitely wasn't girls, because I was not good at that until probably I was in the military when I actually got my confidence. I would love to know what that was. I've never been a big movie guy, like going to the theater, big movie guy. So I don't think it was that. Like, I would love to know what took my attention away. It had to have been another game, right? Had to have been. So what came out in the summer of 97, in the fall of 97, that took my attention away from this, that kept me from winning the WWF Championship? I have no idea. Maybe we'll look that up before we leave. What games were released in that time frame? That's fun. That's a fun discussion. This pen's not going to get the win. I just want to wear him down. I want to remind him who's the boss right now, you know? Remind him, you know, this who's on top. This is a choke slam. This out of nowhere choke slam. It bothers me to no end that he can just do his signature move whenever he wants. Like, I can't just pull out a double arm DDT. Just can I? No, I can't just do it's a finisher. I can't just whip out a double arm DDT whenever I feel fit. I gotta work up to it. He's like, choke slam. You're in the green, choke slam. I got him out of comeback, choke slam. Quit throwing haymakers. Uppercut. Gut wrench. Single arm DDT. We're getting there. We're getting there. We got him on the ropes. Belly to belly. Oh boy. Come here. Kick. Oh boy. Clothesline sucks. I remember that. Let's do knee breaker. Bam, bam, bam. Or don't. Just do whatever you want. Pile driver. There it is. That's what I wanted to do. Body slam. We're getting there, folks. I cannot believe we've wrestled Kane. This is like the 5th time we've wrestled Kane now. In no way is that annoying. Oh, actually hit a haymaker. I didn't even mean to throw it. That's fun. Also, maybe you guys can talk on this. You know, I go on Instagram and Twitter or whatever, and I see all these gamers that get just overly animated over the dumbest shit. And I know it's fake. They do it for views or whatever. I'm not that guy. Like, I'd rather just sit here and talk turkey and talk video games and just be a normal human being. I don't want to get animated and scream and throw shit. That's never been my thing. It is obnoxious, though. I'll give him that. And noticeable. And that's the idea, right? To get noticed. But, Lord, it's a lot. Like, to watch a guy, and they're usually playing Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever, but to watch a grown adult person, which even if I caught my daughter playing a game at her age screaming like that, I'm like, okay, you're just done for a while. Here comes Kane on the comeback. I can't do anything. But like, I have a hard time believing people play video games and react in those ways and just scream and yell and get overly animated and have real life friends. I just, like, you would be unbearable in real life. Like I told my wife with the show Friends, there's a very valid reason why I hate that show, and it's because of this. If you actually knew any of those people in real life, you'd kill them. They are so needy and starve for attention, and the jokes on that show are so forced. Like, I can't get behind it. I hate that show. We're about to lose to Kane. And I would say at this point, at an hour and 15 minutes in, I would say it's probably because I'm losing my attention span. So we just need to go ahead and focus and put Kane away. And that is what we are working on. Knee breaker. Left, right, up, circle X. If you go ahead and pick him up, that's fine too. Great. What's the double arm DDT? It's the same thing. Oh, that's Cactus Jack and Do Love. Okay. That checks out. If you could do what I'm telling you to do and just quit doing body slams, that would be excellent. Body slam. It's going to body slam you to death. Left, right, up, circle X. Pick him up. What are we doing? Thank you. So much pushing of buttons. We got the win. God. So we're going to have to come back in January after we start WrestleMania X8 and come back and try to win the WWF title. We have 3 matches to go. Shamrock, Undertaker, Bret Hart. Because I'm not doing, we're an hour and 60 minutes in, and we've made it 1 match because Shamrock ruined the whole night. If Shamrock wouldn't have beat the shit out of us right out of the gate, we could be WWF champion right now. This show could be over already. Now, granted, nobody wants that. We're having fun. I don't need to see Pantsless Lady again. Shamrock, Bret Hart, and The Undertaker. That's what's left. Exit challenge. We're going to save Meow. And then I want to look up video game releases summer and fall of 1997. What took me away from this game? Something did. Don't tell me it froze again. Wow. PlayStation. I guess I'm just destined to never beat this game. So real quick, video game releases on the old Google. Summer and fall of 1997. What took my attention away from old Warzone, other than apparently it doesn't work? I am so beyond annoyed right now. Let's see. 1997 in video games. Hardware, 64. Wait, what? Never mind. That doesn't make any sense. Discontinued the Game Gear in 97. I didn't know that. I've never owned a handheld gaming system. Is that weird? So in December 23rd, Gran Turismo was, oh shit, I played the dog shit out of Gran Turismo. I still own it. Like to this day, anytime Gran Turismo releases a racing game, I'm buying it. It could have Barney the Dinosaur on the front. I would buy it. August 25th, so just after this game, GoldenEye 007, still own it. And again, a lot of hours logged into that game. To me, GoldenEye, strictly off impact on the gaming world, is the greatest game of all time. Because if GoldenEye 007 does not happen, we probably don't have Call of Duty. And if that doesn't make sense, it's because they had, I mean, other people had kind of unsuccessfully done first-person shooters. Normally it was third person and like kind of wonky to see. And like the side view, like the different Castlevania. But GoldenEye 007 was the first-person shooter multiplayer game I can remember. And that's where the hours were spent. Slap chops only. And I'm going to be odd job so no one can actually hit me. What else? Final Fantasy VII was in January of 97. I definitely was not playing that. That's not a knock on Final Fantasy people. It's just not my thing. Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. I played a lot of a Star Wars game on N64. I don't think it was that one. NFL Game Day 98 was released in September. How about this? The original Fallout for Windows, October 10th, 1997, was released. What else we got? Star Fox 64 was April. I played a lot of Star Fox. Diddy Kong Racing, now. Crash Bandicoot 2, no. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, I played a lot of. That was September 18th, 1997. Madden came out August 26th, 1997. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is Japan. Is this just Japan? Or is this everyone? Okay, this appears to be everyone. So here's the best-selling home video games for 1997. And after this, we will bid adieu. Oh, here we go, United States. And after this, we will bid adieu. And we will have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see each other after the New Year. Again, January 5th, WrestleMania X8, or that Friday, January 9th. So the best-selling games in the United States, 1997. Number 10, Crash Bandicoot. Number 9, Madden 98. Number 8, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. Number 7, how about this? NFL Game Day beat Madden. Pretty interesting. Number 6, Final Fantasy 7. Number 5, GoldenEye 007. And you want to talk about a loaded Nintendo 64. Not to put the cart before the horse. The last 4 games are all N64. And listen to these 4 all-timers by Nintendo. Number 4, well, not number 4 so much, the other 3. Diddy Kong Racing. Number 3, I cannot believe this is number 3. Super Mario 64. Number 2, Star Fox 64. And number 1, Mario Kart 64 were the top-selling games in the United States in 1997. And here's what's interesting is in Europe, the Die Hard trilogy for PS1 was the best-selling game. But with that, and yes, it's still frozen, I'm going to have to go and play ahead while we're gone. So, you know what? I'll get to the only person we have to beat is The Undertaker. And we'll come in and we'll sit down and we'll whip Undertaker's dead ass from post to post. And we'll sit here and talk about the old times and how much fun we had with these video games. Maybe do some more video game history like this. Win the WWF title. And that way we can peace of mind to move on to WWF WrestleMania X8 for Nintendo GameCube on January the 9th. That's when we'll be back. In the meantime, I'm TJ Stevens for Bash on the Buttons. I want to tell you guys how much I enjoy doing this show and how happy I am you guys watch. So as we've gone on every week, like the episodes get more and more views. So we're slowly building a little audience here. And I want to thank you guys so much for that. It's going to be fun. More fun is on the way. We're just getting warmed up. But I want everyone to have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and we will see you in 26. Take care of yourselves. Have some fun with the family. Again, we're breaking 26. WrestleMania X8 for the Nintendo GameCube. In the meantime, everyone, be safe out there, and we'll see you next year. TJ signing off for Bash on the Buttons and Mark Out Moments. Until next year. Have a good holiday season, everybody.